Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Linda.
How are ya?
We're doing pretty well, all things considered.
Well, yeah. Sounds like you had kind of a rough week last with technical things that
Ah,
over and above everything.
yeah, the technical
Yeah, the
things were not fun.
They
Um,
never are.
no. Um, Jane's doing well, recovering,
Good, good, good.
and so that helps. She's now that she got the cast on, she's able to use her hand more, and gradually she's been able to drive a little and
Oh, good,
do a
good,
few
good.
do a few other things. So that's been good.
I'm sure that helps a lot.
Yeah. I got kind of worn out, um, so I'm glad she can do a little
That's
more.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, Carol will not be with us today. That I know for sure. Joanne probably won't. Rick is in the hospital.
Oh, oh.
He
So,
um,
oh, so
he was supposed to go in for a removing a mole on his scalp, and he came down with a urinary infection. And it's just been going back and forth. And he was supposed to have the operation on Monday, and Sunday night his temperature went up to 104, and they put him in the hospital.
Yikes, yeah, that's serious because those
And
infections, they go septic very, very quickly.
yeah, so uh, I haven't heard anything since I don't know whether I guess it was Tuesday, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, um, she's of course there for meetings with doctors and things. So I
Okay.
don't really expect her today.
Right, right,
We'll,
right.
we'll see.
And Car Carol's husband, is he doing better?
Well, he was really
He was
diagnosed.
hospitalized.
Yeah. Well, but he was definitely confirmed that he has cancer and fairly serious, and he's in the midst of a 6-month chemo, serious chemo treatment. So I'm grateful that I'm doing as well as I am. Actually, I'm
Yes.
doing very well. I'm a little tired, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm going to take a quick second and turn my heat up in here. It's chilly.
Oh, okay.
So,
So how are
okay.
things in your world?
Good, good. I kind of jumped in the middle of some things with um people. Yes, I didn't see you last week. Um, there was a family, and I need to reach out to Joanne about this too, but there was a family that I worked with at the church, one of my
Mhm.
choir members. His older brother was arrested and detained,
Ah,
scheduled to be deported back to Ecuador, where he's not been for 10 years.
ah,
This older brother has a child that's 2 years old. The family is so frightened they won't even leave the house. So I kind of jumped in. I talking to the administrator at the church, who was helping this family. I said, there's a lot of groups, the indivisible groups, that are organizing a lot of people that in the English speaking community are wanting to help, wanting to have these abilities to go to action and help these people. She had no idea these groups existed.
wow.
Yeah. And then I talked to the sister that was helping this family as well. And she actually told me of two other families that had been impacted that same way.
Yeah.
This time it was single mothers, again, single mothers with children now because the father husband has been removed from the situation. So and again, she had not heard about the massive groups that are working. So I jumped in and started emailing all the leaders of these groups and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we've got to find a way to bridge these communities,
Yeah.
and find a way that we can do it safely so that the people that are already impacted are frightened. They're so vulnerable."
Yep.
So I have been working to build those bridges. So got a
Well,
lot
good for
going on with
you.
that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah. It was just
Oh,
heartbreaking. It,
yeah.
it was, it, watching, and especially because I had both feet, one foot in each side, I'm seeing all the things and the frustration and the anger and the real um, wanting to do something.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, they're they didn't even know we were out there. They in fact, when I was talking to the sister the first time, she started crying because she was like, I felt so all alone
Oh,
in all of this. So and I don't know how else we can bridge this community. I really,
yeah.
so that's
It's
where we're going.
a really hard situation, all of it. Um, Makes you almost become violent, doesn't it?
There the anger and the frustration um is very definitely difficult not to channel into something like that.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult, very difficult. So I yesterday the monks who were walking across the
Yeah.
US, there's a YouTube video of them at the when they arrived in Washington and the massive, massive crowds that they had. And the leader um, had gave a long talk. It was, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes worth, something like that. And he actually led them through kind of a guided meditation. And he talked about how yes, in these moments, we have to find peace in our life before there can be peace. It was the most beautiful it, things that I've heard in other Dharma talks and things that you have talked about and all of that, but it was in that kind of a language that it was out to everybody,
That's great.
and
Mm.
it was beautiful. I should send you that link because it was just really, really beautiful.
That would be great. Um, Jane's sister in Washington saw them, and also they went right by her husband's restaurant, to Amy's, and he and all his staff, stopped to see them go by. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, they have really made a very, very quiet but very big impact.
yeah, they have.
So,
They're You have to admire them for sure.
yeah, yeah. When I first saw their schedule of events in Washington, I looked into seeing if I could go down there and just participate, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we should probably get underway.
yes,
I don't
yes,
I don't think Joanne's going to join us.
doesn't look like it.
I apologize. You couldn't hear that, could you?
No,
You want me to do it again?
yeah, that's okay. I closed my eyes and pretended I could hear it.
That's good. So, do you have any questions or thoughts or reports or anything?
Well, just the events of the past few weeks. I believe the practices that I've put in have helped me to stay calm. Like I was saying, it's the anger, the frustration, the heartbreak, just the heartbreak of
Yeah,
meeting these people, knowing these people. Um, it's yeah, it was frustrating and angry before it became personal, but now it is.
yeah.
And I feel like some of the practices that you've taught me, some of the practices of the meditation and the focusing and the mindfulness have helped me to also extend to those around me a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, so for that, I'm very grateful to you and all that you've helped me work through with this. So it's not perfect. I'm still a work in progress.
Aren't we all? Good.
But that's kind of where uh, my practice has been more in the application of it in real
Sure.
life.
No, that's good. That's good. Um, so, any how do you feel you're doing with heaven and earth?
When you said you made a comment last time we were talking about it, about the bending, the bend the arrow, shoot the arrow,
Hmm.
um, that I should feel that the bending is moving into they it basically round the corners, you
Hmm.
know, what you've always said in a lot of different movements. So I took that out and just did just that to
Uh-huh.
try and feel that. And I think it's helped. It's helped. Uh, I think the awareness of that helped me to regulate the tempo of how I'm doing those things with the rest of the movements. So
Hmm.
that helped. That was a great thought process to go through with that.
Yeah,
So
it becomes a really important piece of the whole thing. As always, it's just one more element, but um, it because we are always working with moving the energy up and down through the body, learning how to really release and open the spine and begin to use its ability to move the energy, um, it's a big step. And it takes a while.
yeah, yeah. There are times when I can feel I I can feel when I'm doing it wrong
Hmm.
a little bit more now because I feel like there's I can feel the blockages
Hmm.
that are probably coming from the spine. They're more back related. Um, so it's so I'm getting a little bit attuned to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that's helped. And yeah, just continuing to feel how that when I do it right, when I
Hmm.
get, you know, maybe 1 in 10 or something like that, I feel like, ooh, that was, you know, and then of course, my mind takes off and the grasping. And, but but yeah, just being aware of that kind of thing, I think has helped overall.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a piece that I felt like that kind of spot work on just, the bending, stretching of the spine
Yeah.
um, was a good help. It's going to take a little bit more, I think, with that.
Um, was I clear that that movement um, flows from the middle of the spine?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's the thing because we have worked on the Taoist spine stretch, which moves from the lower end of the spine, from the sacrum. This is very different, and yet it's very related because again you're working with the opening of the anterior and posterior parts of the spine of the vertebra. So it's an interesting transition, and I just check that because some people have a really hard time with making that change.
I
So,
did at the beginning, and I did at the beginning. I was really struggling with that because I was trying to do the same kind of thing as the Taoist spine stretch,
hmm.
and you had reminded me several times from that. So definitely worth continuing to remind me because that that was a practice that I'd done a lot more of.
Hmm.
So it's
Sure.
easy for me to put back into that. So yes, if you see anything like that, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be aware of it, but as I'm focusing on all the other things, as you well know.
Yes, indeed. Well, why don't you do some heaven and earth?
Okay.
Maybe turn sideways so I can see, um, well, to some extent, see what your back is doing.
Right, right. Is the lighting okay in here? I don't have any of the lights. It's all just natural light at the moment.
um,
And I will probably be about here.
hmm.
So, and I do have some overhead lights I can turn on if that helps.
Would you flick them on and let's just see?
There, and I
The,
might be able to do something here. If that made any difference.
not significantly. I think if you prefer working with the lights off, that's fine.
Okay, okay. I probably will do that then, just because leave that one on. Yeah, and unfortunately, the windows in the back there, which are probably what's blotting me out more than anything else, I don't have shades for them. So,
That's fine. Well, maybe, yeah, just do 10 reps.
okay.
That that was actually a very nice flow, it seemed to me.
It felt good.
I would still say a couple of things.
Okay.
I think in your C curve that you're still bending a little too much with the neck.
Ah,
It
okay.
it doesn't feel like the two ends of your spine are working in absolute coordination.
Okay.
The neck is just doing a little bit more, and
Okay.
that's always a hard coordination, and it's a little hard for me to tell on Zoom too. That I may be, not seeing as clearly as I could if you were here, but it just felt like the neck was trying to do a little bit more.
Okay.
And the other thing I would say um, is I feel like the extension still, I wouldn't say gets lost, but gets reduced between one and two. And I recognize that that's a difficult one because the because of the arm position, it's counterintuitive. I also can you see my hand?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I have bent everything obviously, and in one the extension goes like
Bring it
that.
up bring it up a little bit higher, more at your shoulder level, because
Oh,
you
okay,
dropped it a little bit, if
okay.
you don't mind.
I'll go back and do it again. How's that?
Yeah.
That a
There, much
good
better. Thank
level?
you. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in one the extension goes like that, and in two it goes like that. You see that?
Hmm. Yeah, you might have to show me that in person because
Yeah.
it's difficult to see. I know it's really subtle, so it's a little difficult to see through
Yeah,
Zoom.
in person
But
it's not hard to see, but um, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
the camera distorts things too. So
oh yeah, yeah, there is that.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay, okay.
but what I was starting to say was that extension, that spreading extension in two, relates to the what I talked about in the ribs expanding to the sides from the both the sternum and the spine there.
Mm, mm, mm. And I think that's where um as I'm trying to feel that more horizontal expansion,
Yeah.
um, that I feel like that's where I'm losing touch with the bend and stretch.
Hmm.
And so that might be what you're seeing.
Yep. Yeah, because it feels like you're extending just fine up in one, and then somehow it gets lost when you start into two.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't disappear. I wouldn't say that, although if you were here, it'd be a little easier to tell. But
Right, right.
but
Yeah,
anyway,
it feels that way too.
yeah.
Um, so the trying to work on um, keeping that expansion outward as well as the the stretching.
Hmm.
Is that what I
Yep.
should focus on? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Um, Otherwise, it's a real sense of really good coordination. The shoulders were not lifting anymore, as far as I could tell. The 6 and 7 were looked very smooth and right. Um, Really, it had a very good feel to the whole thing.
Okay,
So
good. Thank you.
so
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing it in person.
Yes. Yes. Next week, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah.
It's,
Who knows?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I'm back to being able to record and save and send out the videos again. So
Yes. Yes.
I
Thank you.
I
Good. Good. Good work.
I
Thank you.
conquered that one. But the spam thing that I followed and allowed somebody into my computer really threw a wrench into our lives.
Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because we had to close all our bank accounts and open new ones, and that, of course, has a lot of ramifications elsewhere. So,
Oh, absolutely. It's a definitely a big ripple effect.
yes, it is. Anyway,
All right. Okay.
so the 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 last two times we managed to have class, I managed to have class. I began talking about discovering inner space, and I'm gonna, the, I'm going to talk about that more today. And really, this is kind of the culmination of talking about this. I will say the whole process obviously is takes a long time, and it's different for everyone. But this kind of gives you, I think, really good insight into where ultimately you're going, ideally with Taoist meditation. So it's really important that you understand and are not confused about Lao Tzu's whole method of meditation. If you look at all the other meditation methods in the cultures of the world, there are actually three fundamental ways that they go. The vast, overwhelming majority of meditation methods are based on structured analysis, observing what is going on inside of yourself or what is happening inside of you. And if you observe anything going along for long enough and with sufficient intensity and with sufficient unbroken attention and concentration, you will then end up with what is called in yoga samadhi, as super conscious state. All you need to be able to do this is to go from broken concentration to continuous concentration and keep it there. And then the notes go on to discuss these three possible variations. I'm actually going to let you read those and I'll send you the notes, of course, today. But in the classic practice of Taoist meditation, one of the big things is what the Chinese call kan and li, water and fire. The fire tradition and the water tradition have very different takes on what kan and li mean. In the water tradition, this is the method that when meditating, you are just being there with the yin and the yang, just watching. You have no demand for anything to release. ice to water, water to inner peace. Just the willingness to let go, just the willingness for it to happen. The phrase is that you are like a hawk, observing, circling as, for as long as is necessary for the mouse to show up. And when the mouse does, then you act. You go for it. You have made no attempt to get the mouse to come out of his hole. You simply keep going into the depths of the unconscious mind until something is willing to let go. So there is good and bad news about this. The bad news is that it often doesn't feel like it's going fast enough. And I can't tell you how to do it and to get there. The good news is that when you do get there, it is without an explosion that blows you into pieces. So most of the methods that can take you into the mind, into the mind fast, are often too strong, and people are not able to actually handle the stuff that comes up from their insides. And so it just overwhelms them. And this happens a lot, and you can't tell that that is what will happen until it does. There may be signs, but it is not a sure thing. It's a bit like boiling water. Sometimes it's gradual building, and sometimes it's just there all at once. So the important point is that you must not be in a rush, must not be in a hurry, because that would actually slow down the whole process. So the more your intention, the more you are intent on achieving a result quickly, the longer it will take. So you have to go with not go with the idea that X equals Y. All you know is that you start at X and it is going to end up at Y sometime. The mouse you can allow, the more you can allow yourself to just show up, the more you just relax. The faster you will arrive at letting go. So this is all very counterintuitive to the standard fire engineering approach. It can be good to be enthusiastic about things, but when you are dealing with the deepest of the mind, it is not a good idea. Don't be in a rush. Don't overexcite something you don't want to overexcite. Let your mind be easy. So here you are recognizing all these thoughts. They are not just left brain talking in your head. It's also the right brain, bliss and happiness and whatever else. And so it's both, not one or the other. It's it can flip either way. So gradually you get to where you can focus on all these thoughts without going crazy. And then you let go to where you can start to drop into the space between each of them. And you dissolve that. Ice to water, water to inner space. However fast that you can go. And then at a certain point, you find that you are not just doing it between. You are never you never stop doing it. During thoughts and between thoughts. And that then shifts to the recognition, not just the doing, but just the recognition that there is something in the middle which you dissolve. And then there is something else in the middle, and you relax that as best you can. And gradually, all these gaps in the middle start becoming one thing, one something that you focus on and relax and let go of. Yes, they all actually show up at once, but you can only focus on one at a time. So you slow them down so that you can dissolve and let them go. It's like slowing down on the highway so you can read the signs rather than zipping by so fast that they are a blur. And this is because it takes a long time of being conscious of these of the at ease and flow within the unconscious mind without either falling asleep or freaking out. And that is the simple way of putting it. So remember, in Taoist meditation, the only thing you are going to find inside you is what is also there. The problem is what might be in there. And some of the stuff will be benign, some of it neutral, and until you hit what Bruce jokingly calls the ghosts of Christmas past. And then at that point, you don't know what's going to come up. What was personal to you? What was too much, and what drove you crazy? And then your next thing is to somehow, well, not only dissolving the thoughts and the spaces between them, but also dropping into this much bigger place and dissolving what's in there. You let go. You may not know how many ideas, may not have many ideas about what is going on. What you do know is what you have, that you have some variation of discomfort, or fingers down the blackboard, or you are someplace where your mind is not smooth. And this you have to relax. You have to let go of it and con- continue letting go and keep on letting go. Sometimes you will stop and start and stop and start, and yet you do the best you can in whatever way you can, good, bad, wonderful, whatever. Just keep going, because you now hit the place where you are going to start dropping down to the depths of your mind. It doesn't matter how fast you go or how slow you go. The phrase that has been used in Chinese for a long time is, now you have to stay on the horse's back, like a bucking bronco. That's what your mind is going to be like. And all the stuff in your unconscious mind is going to be like a bucking horse. Don't look to be a miracle man or woman. Just stay on the horse however you can. The only way you can do that is not by force of will. That is almost a guarantee that the horse can buck harder than you have the will to stay on. You have to relax into it and simply accept and allow anything that you are feeling to just be there. And now you're looking at what is moving inside your mind. How this, how the chi is oscillating inside you. And that's what you are after. So, obviously, as I said earlier, that will take a while. And we will do a longer meditation relating to this next week. But this week, having thrown a lot of stuff into your mind, I would like us just to sit for a little bit and do our basic dissolving, trying to be aware of the four conditions, just accepting that we are beginning this practice again. So let's just sit for a bit. ready, we could begin to close. sending all benefit gained from this practice to help all the sentient creatures in the entire universe. Any last minute thoughts or questions?
No, I like that. I like that. Actually, there one comment. One of my previous piano teachers was had a saying, and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said you have to be, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of persistence and insistence or something in that manner of you have to be persistent in doing the practice without being too persistent on the perfection of the practice. And
Mm,
I,
yep.
I have to meditate. That was what came to mind. So I need to go back and meditate on
Mhm.
that and see if I can bring up his words because it was a fabulous little just one of those little lingo things that boom, 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 and it made so much sense. So
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
that's what came to mind today because that's very much an important part of learning to play the piano as well. So,
Absolutely.
but so
Absolutely.
thank you.
Okay, well, that was good. It was wonderful to see you.
Yes, very good to
And
see you
we'll,
too.
we'll send our best to Rick and Ray and hope they do
Yes,
well.
yes, yes, yes. And
And we'll,
definitely in my thoughts and prayers.
absolutely. And we'll see you next week.
And best to Jane. Glad she's improving.
Oh, yes, she is. She's definitely doing better.
Good, good,
Um,
right?
getting a little stronger. So, all good.
Yes, yes,
So, thanks for being here, Linda.
yes. I'm glad we've got this option because now I can get to my 12 o'clock meeting with the sister.
Good, good. I hope that's a good meeting.
So too. I think it will be. I think it will be. So too many,
Good.
if there's, as long as there's not too many people trying to stir and be too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's always an issue, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
You too.
Bye bye.